Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, U.S. Immigration News. Vance promoting Trump's whole government immigration crackdown during a visit to the U.S.-Mexico border. Vice President JD Vance visited the U.S.-Mexico border, crediting Trump's directive for a sharp drop in illegal crossings. Joined by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, he toured Eagle Pass, Texas, and met with Governor Greg Abbott. Vice President JD Vance visited the U.S.-Mexico border on Wednesday and said that arrests for illegal crossings had fallen sharply because President Donald Trump is demanding that all the government prioritize the issue in ways his Democratic predecessor, Joe Biden, never did. Vance was joined by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard as he took a helicopter tour of the area around Eagle Pass, Texas, around 150 miles southwest of San Antonio. They also visited a Border Patrol facility and sat for a round table with Republican Texas Greg Abbott and national, state, and local officials. Vance pointed to arrests for illegal border crossings plummeting 39% in January from a month earlier. The numbers have fallen sharply since well before Republican Trump took office for his second term on January 20th, coming down from an all-time high of 250,000 in December 2023. After that, Mexican authorities increased enforcement within their borders, and Biden introduced severe asylum restrictions early last summer. President Trump has empowered and demanded that his whole government take the task of border control seriously, Vance said. To impose harder-line immigration policies, the Trump administration has put shackled immigrants on U.S. military planes for deportation fights and sent some to the U.S. lockup at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. It has also expanded federal agents' arrests of people in the U.S. illegally and abandoned programs that gave some permission to stay. The presence of Hegseth and Gabbard on the visit underscores how Trump is tasking agencies across the federal government with working to overhaul border and immigration policy, moving well beyond the Department of Homeland Security, the traditional home of most such functions. The border crisis has become a matter of national intelligence, and it's also become something that requires the Department of Defense to engage, Vance said. Gabbard blamed the Biden administration for the presence in the U.S. of people who crossed the border illegally and had possible ties to terrorists, but were released into the country while they await immigration court proceedings. Who are they? What may they be plotting? Gabbard asked. This is just the beginning. As part of his visit, Vance went to Shelby Park, a municipal park along the Rio Grande that Abbott seized from federal authorities last year in a feud with the Biden administration after the governor accused the Biden White House of not doing enough to curb illegal crossings. A group of friends and neighbors gathered 2 blocks from the park ahead of Vance's arrival. Dennis Charlton, a veteran and Eagle Pass resident with property along the border, wore 2 hats, one to commemorate his service, and the other a red "Make America Great Again" cap. He said he's witnessed human and drug smuggling activity on his border property that scared his wife and neighbors, but said such crossings have diminished significantly of late. I love it, Charlton said of the visit. I just wish we could talk to him to thank him for everything that he and Trump have done. Vance came to South Texas after Trump imposed 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada, saying neither country is doing enough to stem illegal immigration and address drug trafficking, especially the flow of fentanyl across the U.S. border. Asked about Trump's tariffs, Vance responded, "We think he's doing a huge favor to the people of Mexico because if they don't get control of these cartels, the people of Mexico are going to wake up in a narco state where the cartels have more power than their government." When asked about the potential for the U.S. to send troops to Mexico to battle drug cartels, Vance said he was not going to make any announcements about any invasions of Mexico here today. The president has a megaphone, and he'll of course speak to these issues as he feels necessary. When pressed by reporters on if an invasion was coming, Vance was more direct. "No," he said. Next question. Vance was also asked why more large-scale operations haven't been started to deport people who are in the U.S. illegally. "Rome wasn't built in a day," Vance said. "We have seen pretty significant increases in deportations and apprehensive and arrests," he added. "But we have to remember President Biden gutted the entire immigration enforcement regime of this country. Since Trump's second term began, about 6,500 new active duty forces have been ordered to deploy to the southern border. Before that, there were about 2,500 troops already there, largely National Guard troops on active duty orders, along with a couple of hundred active duty aviation forces. Troops are responsible for detection and monitoring along the border, but don't interact with migrants attempting to illegally cross. Instead, they alert border agents, who then take the migrants into custody. Biden tasked Vice President Kamala Harris with tackling the root causes of immigration during his administration, seeking to zero in on why so many migrants, particularly from Central America, were leaving their homelands and coming to the U.S. seeking asylum or trying to make it into the county illegally. Harris made her first visit to the border in June 2021, about 31 months deeper into Biden's term than Vance's trip in the opening weeks of Trump's second term. Vance's visit followed Trump's 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada to curb illegal immigration and drug trafficking. He dismissed speculation about invading Mexico, but acknowledged the need for time to reverse Biden-era policies. Since Trump's return, 6,500 more troops have been deployed to assist border enforcement. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel US Immigration News. We hope you are doing great. Vance promoting Trump's wall government immigration crackdown during a visit to the US-Mexico border. Vice President JD Vance visited the US-Mexico border, emphasizing that arrests for illegal crossings had dropped sharply due to President Trump's directive for a government-wide focus on border control. He was joined by Defense Secretary P.T. Hegseth, the Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, as they toured Eagle Pass, Texas, a meeting with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and other officials. Arrests for illegal border crossings fell 39% in January, continuing a decline that began before Trump's second term. This drop was attributed to increased Mexican enforcement and Biden-era asylum restrictions. Vance credited Trump's approach, stating that the administration prioritized immigration enforcement in a way Biden did not. The Trump administration has enacted hardline immigration measures, including a deportation via military plants and detention at Guantanamo Bay. It has also expanded arrests of undocumented individuals while eliminating programs that previously allowed some to remain in the U.S. legally. The presence of Hegseth and Gabbard underscored Trump's strategy of evolving multiple federal agencies beyond homeland security and border enforcement. Vance called the border crisis a national security issue requiring a Defense Department involvement. Gabbard criticized the Biden administration for allowing migrants with a suspected terrorist ties to enter the U.S. while awaiting immigration proceedings. She raised concern about their identities and potential threats. During the visit, Vance to Shelby Park, a site seized by Abbott from federal authorities in a dispute over border control. Residents of Eagle Pass, like a veteran, denies Chardon expressed appreciation for Trump policies, citing a decrease in smuggling activity. The visit followed Trump's imposition of 25% tariffs on the Mexican and Canadian imports, citing their failure to curb illegal immigration and drug trafficking. When asked about military intervention against Mexican drug cartels, Vance avoided specifics but dismissed the idea of an invasion. Vance also addressed depression effort, noting significant increases, but cautioning that reversing Biden-era policies would take time. Since Trump returned, about 6,500 additional active duty forces have been deployed to the border. These troops assist these surveillance but do not directly engage with the migrants, instead alerting border agents. Under Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris was assigned to address immigration root causes, making her first border visit in June 2021, months later into Biden's term than Vance's early trip under Trump.